A number of people ask me on YouTube about renovating the Sickle and bringing it back, one that's gone and been left out in the cold and the wet, so to speak, for years, and how you can bring them back. And it's not a very easy job, and I've never actually had the occasion to do it. But I seen this one on YouTube a while ago, and I thought about that, and I thought, well, I've never renovated the Sickle before, so it was it was under £10, so I thought, why not? So I bought it, and I'm going to have a go at renovating it. And as I say, what I'm going to do is see if I can bring back the stone. First of all, I try and do it by hand, by just sheer using a stone like that. And then if it's unsuccessful, which it could be, what I'll do then, I'll use a grinder on it. So that's it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try and bring this back first, get all this rust and stuff off, and then I'll do that side after I leave the rust or the black part on there and just do the bevel on its own. So that's it. So we put that like that. Not like that. I could do them two like that. I'll send that one under there. And then there we are. So that's quite good now, see? That's quite good. This is just a piece of plasterboard. So that's it. So I got a nice firm base now. So we'll just rub that out and see how we go. Now what I'm thinking is that we'll have to almost certainly clean this up, because see how it's starting to get the rust on it. And you can see how this stone this is an old stone, not a second-hand stone I got from some old used store or whatever, and it's got a concave because the people have been using it correctly, and therefore it's curved in the middle, so it'll only bite at the edges, but we have to deal with that. So we'll just do this. Get this, and we'll just have a look, see it's starting to come back. It doesn't have to come back really, but to just get it looking very reasonable. So you can see how it is coming on. We're starting to lose a bit of bite there. We just sort of give it a rub to see when we. You can see how the ends are wearing first because of the concaveness of the stone. You can see how that's coming up, so it will come. What I'm going to do is do it in two halves, and that's starting to appear now, and I think we should be able to wear at least this side down without having to use the grinder. Just go over there. It's got a name on here, J. Noel Sheffield. Never heard of those before, but they're not in existence anymore because nobody makes sickles anymore. So well, nobody makes sickles forged in the old-fashioned way. You can buy them quite cheap online, but they're just no good. You haven't got the metal in them and they're not designed correctly. So there we are. So we made a good start. What I'll do now is I'll carry on with that in my own time. I'll give you some indication how long it takes to get it down to the bright metal, and it doesn't have to be totally, so long as we can get down to the edge, and then we'll do the other side as well. Okay, so that's it. After about an hour and a half, we got as far as there. The edge now is quite clean. A little bit of the forging stuff on the back itself, but that's no matter. And I left that because the name's there and it doesn't get used anyway. And so that's it. So what I'll do now, what I've done is just, well, there's the stone. You see it's still clean, very clean, because what I do every so often is just a little bit of on there and brush that in. You can either wet that off, that's been wiped off, but what I'll do, I'll leave that on, and you can put a bit on the blade instead, and then you can just can't go around all the way because otherwise you lose the edge a bit. We'll have to just do that section first. Count up to 10 or to 100 before you have a look, otherwise you get a bit disappointed if you look at it too often. And the other thing is, make sure that the stone is flat on the blade, and then you keep it flat. Grab it like that. When you're using oil, you really want to use gloves, and then you keep it at that angle. Don't twist it like that. Go up to 100. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, and then have a look, and you should see some difference there. Just wipe that off with a piece of newspaper, and you can see if you've got any improvement. That's going down a bit. It's not necessary to get it all out, and then you can turn your sickle round like that. Put it on your little bit of a jig, as I call it, and then if you want to do that, you start it here. Otherwise, you've got that angle. Do it there. The same. You keep it flat. Feel for the flat. Feel for the flat, and then keep it at that. And that's what you've got to do. So, right. Have a look at the other edge now. And I've had a bit of a gentle look at it, and I put the stone on it, and it'd take a lot of work to get that down. This obviously gets left. Where's my other sickle? Oh, here. See on the back of that, that's left. Slightly different pattern, and that's had a lot of use, whereas this hasn't. But the forging gets left, rough forging face, and all you have is about 10 mil of edge there that will be sharpened. I may have a go now at putting it in the vise and putting the angle grinder on it, but a little bit trepidation, but I will give it a go and I'll let you know what happens. Okay. When you're doing things the unexpected, I've been along with gradually. Now I'll just go and clean it up with one more, and then And that ought to be good enough now to be used. And what will happen is that as we use the stone on it, it'll wear it into the right angle. There we are. Just put this up here. And let's see. Oh, I'll take these gloves off now. Just get it there, put your hand like that, and then this is now near enough for the stone to work it to the angle that we want. And this next autumn I'll use this on I got 2 wildflower meadows, and about 200 square meters each. Should be quite a nice sickle. A little bit bigger than the one I've got. Anyway, we'll see, and I'll let you know. Hope that's just give you a bit of indication of how to bring a sickle back. You may see them when they're in poor condition, but they're not made anymore. So if you get a chance to get one and you can bring it back, then that's a big plus. Thank you. So there we are, pretty well finished. This is the old sickle that you may have seen when I first bought it, and here it is now. Much better shape on it, and I just sharpened it by hand now. I'll just move the camera around to give you some idea. There we are. So let's see, here's a stone. I'll put this in my belt, and just to finish off, decide how much we're going to sharpen. I'll show you something a bit later on now. Catch hold of it, not round the bit now, because that's sharp, getting sharper. Take your thumb as the reference point to how much you're going to sharpen. Make sure that it's in your belt, tucked into your trousers, and then pushed forward so that even tightens it even further. Just check the stone, and then you've got that there now, so you just go, and then you go behind, bring that there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And do as many as you like. Sharpen it, that's it, sharpen it till it's sharp. You decide. And the way you decide is if you put your forefinger there and just catch something like that, the other one to support behind, and then just drag your thumb across like this. And if it feels sticky when you do that, then it's sharp. And if you listen to it, it'll make a noise. Here, I'll show you. You just even right to the end. And that's getting sharper. That's the first decent bit of sharpening it's done, and that's the way to do it. Now then, if you find, well, what I do. How do I sharpen that a little bit? You'll say, well, and what's it for? This little piece here. That is for cutting bigger stuff. Well, yes, I have got my sticks here. If this is in a hedge and you were brushing it and you come to a bit of big stuff like that, well, you wouldn't cut it with there, you would cut it here, because you want to protect your nice sharp edge, and this is sharp enough to cut it and strong enough so that would cut that stick there. Don't want to cut that though, because that's my stick I use when I'm sickling. And so that's that piece. Now, how do you sharpen that to start? You can't go past there. Well, I'll show you how I sharpen it. I sharpen it in the winter or something like that. Now, you know, I've got these V blocks, I call them V blocks, down there, and they are 2 pieces of timber, rough cut, 2 of them like that. You put them together, and then you can put your sickle in there, and then you can tighten it up, and you can work on your sickle then. Really tap them to make sure that they're well in to the bottom, and then give them a little bit extra tighten, and that should be enough. Make sure it is tight though, just waddle it like that, and then you can work on the sickle and do what you want. And you got that, then you can sharpen there if you want to, like that. But it'd be nice to have a vents and some V blocks, so I'll show you why. If you're not very conversant with sharpening a sickle, which if you're starting off and you won't be, then you'll find it quite hard to do and quite awkward, and it's something that you've got to practice. And if you want to practice, if you had V blocks like this, you can put it up like that, can't you? You can put it up like that, and then what you've got is the sickle at the right angle that you would use if you were putting it in your belt. It's at the same angle, and you can stand behind like where I am now, and then you can be as if you got the sickle like that, and then you've got no need to worry too much, and you can concentrate on getting a nice action. Now then, there's a flat on this, the flat's there, so I don't want that. And so you can come, you can sharpen your sickle like that, at least to start, but you'd have to sharpen it in the field a little bit more often and bring it back to the workbench. So, but at least you can do it and get a bit of an angle. And the other thing is you can come round to there. You don't use this very often, and so therefore, when you've got it in the vise, you can that's your opportunity to sharpen it. Okay, and then as you get more used to it, you can put your hand there, as I say, like that, grip it, and then use your thumb as the reference point of how much you want to sharpen. There. Take it up to there, down to there, across there. Now then, you want to listen to the back. If you're too much there, you get a rasping sound. Don't want to do that. But if you're too much like that, you get a rasping sound. Rasping, sharp, and like that, rasping. But if you get it right, it sounds silent and sweet sound. And you're ooh, and then you're looking for the sweet sound. Same applies there. And after a while, you get your angle right. You listen for the sweet sound, and when you hear it sweet, you keep it sweet. And so that's that's a good little point for you to start off, and then eventually you'll be able to sharpen it there in the winter. You don't have to sharpen it very often on that area there, because it's for you, as I say, for using cut a little bit bigger stuff, and that's it.